Okay, guys, so we have been gathered here for a research session or like a talk on pre-budget when the finance minister will be going to present the budget in Indian Parliament on 1st February. So we, the members of Human Resource Development Cell SRCC, are here to have a talk on a pre-budget session or the what the pre-budget can be according to the students of Shriram College of Commerce. Moreover, I want to say that we have not divided our pre-budget talk on different sectors like education, healthcare, infrastructure, taxation, because we want each everyone's viewpoint on a sing on the budget as a whole. So we want that there should be a free flow of communication. Me and Sabya don't want to just want to act as a moderators where one person present his viewpoint in the forum and the other person who favors it speaks in the favor of the discussion, or the person who is in the against speaks in again. So I let the floor open and start with your conversation. So who wants to speak first? Okay, Komal, start.
Am I audible? Am I audible?
Yes, you are.
So as I believe that the most affected
Komal, wait a second, your voice is a little feeble. Can you just speak aloud?
okay, due to this pandemic, I believe that the most affected sectors are like our tourism industry and the entertainment industry. For that, like the economy is going down. So for that purpose, just to promote our economy and just to give a boost to all these sectors, what we can do is like what the government can do is they can increase their expenditure in these sectors in terms of like the some passes or some discounts could be provided to attract the audience to spend more, and so that it will ultimately boost the economy.
Yeah, I also agree with Komal's side. The government should focus more on expenditure side rather than supply side. Last year budget, we found that the government was focusing on supply side, but now the government should focus on the demand side. As government was thinking of festive season, demand will go up, but due to Corona, the demand was never go up. So right now it is high time that government should focus on the expenditure side rather than supply side.
So it is therefore needed that the government should get the consumers' confidence back to move into spending more and more, and it can be done only if government needs to create a stimulus by increasing the consumer demand. So the demand should be pushed upon, and moreover, the government needs to reinvest in different sectors because that is the main need right now. If we want to do great in any sector, then we have to reinvest. So the government should focus more on reinvestment.
I think
Okay,
government is
so when no, actually, I want to say something that when Bhavuk says or Komal says that during the festival season there was not a customer demand, but a piece of fact in the month of November and I guess s- December, we have the highest GST collection. So GST collection is directly proportionate to the expenditure by the consumer in the market. So when the GST was launched in 2017, so from that date in the month of November and December, we have the highest collection. That is the GST collection crossed 1.1 trillion, I guess. You carry on.
Yeah, yeah, I would
okay.
like to suggest one point. Yeah, based upon the budget at a glance, during the last year's budget of 2019, as as the senior just mentioned that the total income from the government is majority gained from GST. I think it's correct. When we are looking at the income from the government, the GST having around 18%. Corporation tax is also around 80%. Thus, having the second position for the income of our government, and the first one is going to borrowing and other liabilities having the first preferences. It would having around 20% from the central to gain income.
I think government should focus more on the MSME sector as there are over 60 million MSME in India and they constitute around 50% of total exports. So providing tax relief and easy loan to MSME could provide a great relief for the economy.
Yeah, the government should move from the credit-based system to direct benefit transfer system, as credit-based system is not that effective.
Yeah, what I think that the government will also formulate a policy in order to uplift the toy sector, as already the government has started to promoting this sector, and also the government has increased the import duty on the toys which were imported from the other countries to our country, so that those products which were imported could not sold as many in order to sell or boost the toy sector, as our Prime Minister Narendra Modi has also started a campaign named Vocal for Local. So I think this sector would also get boost in this year's budget.
So I would like to add a point that the budget this time should exploit the situation which is globally happening, that all the global leaders, especially the European companies, are very much looking up to India as China plus one policy, and they are thinking about making India their main manufacturing hub. So this year budget should consist a provision that would aim to make India a better ecosystem, like clarity in laws and simplicity in laws, which would attract foreign direct investment.
Yeah, I would like to suggest one point that during this government, most of their income is contributed to the military sector. I think when we are looking the whole worldwide, the India having the second position in the military, and I think it may be going like this. India should be the first one, and I think during the upcoming years, the center also provide more income to this sector, and during this pandemic I think more income is provided, so more rupees is given to the medical and other health sector, I think.
I believe that if the taxes on the income of people can be reduced by the government, so that would be great, because ultimately it would increase the disposable income of the people, which they would be, spending in the economy for purchase of goods and services, and ultimately there would be more flow of cash in the economy. So that would boost the economy in a good way.
Yeah, I
So
agree with Komal. Yeah.
though what Komal said is advisable, but government too is in dire need of funds. Government is running short of funds, and I don't think that the budget is going to come with any kind of deductions, or any kind of deductions, or any kind of tax or any kind of tax benefits for the people. Government is not going to do that.
I would like to just
Yeah, I agree to what Simi said.
what Simi said, that I had recently read in the newspaper that the government, in the case of in the during the time of coronavirus, when all the countries were investing in their own countries, when the other countries were borrowing money from different countries, India was the only one which was investing in other countries. So maybe it is not the case that India is in dire need of funds. They definitely have funds, and even if they increase tariffs, there's another thing that I read. It was about an interview of a person working in JP Morgan. He had said that the way the country is handling the coronavirus pandemic, it is the way it is handling an old situation with its old policies. So it needs to use loosening policies instead of tightening policies, which is it currently is using. So I don't think that the government should focus on increasing tariffs rather than it should focus on reducing them.
And also, government should not introduce any kind of new tax like the Corona says, which is the government might think of imposing, and there should not be any increase in existing tax rate because both households and business organizations are facing economical crisis. So no new tariff this year.
But I
Yes.
think that the coronavirus
Yeah.
is for the higher income groups, not for mediocres one, I think.
What? Sorry.
But in that case too, the stock markets are going to blood badly. And I
Uh,
think that
okay, guys. So I just want to say that taxation is a very hot topic, or taxation is a very debatable topic because each person has its own viewpoint on how a country should impose a tax on their citizens. But I just want to say that when the Indian government is providing free COVID vaccines to the frontline workers, so I just want to say that frontline workers just account to 3.2 crore out of total India's population of 135 crore. And if the government plans to immune the rest of the population, so from where the government will get the funds? If as all the forum is saying that the government should reduce the taxes, but we should admit that the Indian government main source of income is from taxation. So how do you guys find it feasible when we say that the government need to increase their expenditure? So so from where sources the government get their funds?
I think the government should focus on the progressive budget, and the government should reserve more on spending at this point. They will focus on increasing the fiscal deficit. The country has enough potential that it can take it. And that you are talking about the November that the GST was at the highest point. It was due to the positivity in the India. Due to Corona, the negativity was held, and that positivity create the GST the rise again. And if we want to liquidate the market for the next few years, for the next term, we need to highly spend on expenditure side rather than supply side.
Yes,
I'd like to add on that if the taxes are reduced, probably more and more people would fall into the tax paying net. So, probably the tax paying population, we can expect a rise in a tax paying population. So, this can be one of the measures that the government can take up.
What I think that instead of reducing the amount of taxes of any kind, I think that the government should reduce or cut the personal income tax only, as it would increase the investment of people of persons that he made in the economy, and it would not pay any much harm to the you can say the funds that government receive from the taxes.
Yeah, I agree with him. The government should need to increase the limit of Section 80C that deal with the tax deduction that is from that currently is now is 1.5 lakh. If the government increase it from 1.5 lakh to 3 lakh, it will benefit the middle class consumers. That will help.
Yes, I agree with Bhavik that the government should increase the ATC section as it would help in channelizing the tax amount towards right direction. Uh,
Okay, guys. So when you say that the government should increase the 1.5 limit in Section 80C, so for the forum, I just want to say that while computing income for an individual, so Section 80C is in a section under which the government gives exemptions to the say people, or so that their taxable income should be less. So under Section 80C, one of the point is public provident fund, or there are many a list of number of investments that an individual can make in order to get a claim of 1.5 lakh. So but for this ATC, I just want to say that the government has a number of, let's say, exemptions under from 80 section 80C to 80U. So a citizen or an individual get a benefit of a large number of exemptions. So when we say that a cumulative exemption given to an individual is about 4 lakhs. So and when we say that that in India should present a progressive budget, so the definition of progressive budget means increasing the revenue of the government. Let's say when we say that we should increase the exemption limit, so as a result, it will decrease the net revenue the government will receive by the way of taxes. So that's the main point regarding Section 80C. And in most of the countries except India, we don't have these exemption limits. This is in the country in India only where we provide such exemptions to the people.
Talking about the tourism and
Guys, carry on with your views.
talking about the tourism and the entertainment industry, although there is an increase in the GST, but ultimately the people opting for tours and trips to different places is still going down. And for that matter, some companies are also adopting some, like there was this airline which adopted a scheme that they would provide some discounts on trips, like foreign trips and trips inside India also, so that the people get attracted to that, and even if it is 70% of the amount which they were required to pay earlier, but that would increase the flow of funds for the company. So that kinds of schemes could be adopted, and ultimately government can increase their expenditure in such way.
Yeah, I
One
would
thing
like to take
I'd like
further
to
the
say
point.
is okay, Karen, sorry.
I would like to take for the point of Komal that this year the budget should mainly focus on growth, and one thing which could increase the growth is the focus on tourism, and that is why government is dedicated towards creating a railway network and has come up with dedicated freight corridor construction in many areas, which would increase the revenue, thereby cutting cost and connectivity processes.
And ultimately tourism is the largest industry in which government can invest, and ultimately I believe that it is the way in which maximum funds could be obtained by the government in the long run.
Also, the government should focus on acquiring foreign investment because of this pandemic, the FPI inflows have been high in India, and this is the major reason for the Sensex bullish run. And also, if the country, many of the countries are invested in diversification of machinery, in diversification of production. So definitely, it will be an opportunity for India if many foreign companies want to invest in India.
Okay, so I believe that there is a need of complete research that should be done, and the provision should be made in the budget as per the the sectors which has been worst affected by the COVID. They should be given more provisions instead of those which are less affected. Like the grocery sector is less affected due to COVID, but on the other hand, textile sector is more affected due to COVID. So more provision should be given to those sectors.
According to my view, the focus of the budget should be in handling the immediate crisis that the country has in the due to the pandemic, and also it should focus on the long-term growth prospects, whichever are there.
Uh, Hello, am I audible?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we were actually talking about the major revenue streams of the government. So basically, I believe that tax is not the only source of revenue for the government, and public sector enterprises is something that is also a major source of government revenue, major source of revenue for the government. So what I believe that in this budget, public sector enterprise must be empowered and privatization must be minimized. I'll tell you why. Because when government looks for privatization, it basically means that government feels that the public sector is not profitable, which again shows lack of efficiency from the government end. Okay. So I believe that if government promotes public sector enterprise in this very budget, so this will lead to two things. First, the government revenue will increase, and second, more secure jobs would be provided among the citizens. Because during lockdown, we witnessed that many private companies fired many workers because the ultimate aim of private enterprises is profit maximization. But when we talk about public sector enterprises, the main aim is somewhere you can say holistic development of the society, holistic growth. So yeah, public sector enterprises should also be taken into consideration in this very budget so that there can be a overall economic development rather than only private sector being the key major players.
I would like to add to this point that I don't agree with this because the government should focus on privatization in this budget. One, it will serve the purpose of revenue generation, and second, it will create jobs for other people. And the problem of unemployment can also be solved with privatization. There's no harm. If the economy is on the rise, then definitely there will be employment opportunities.
Sorry,
Well,
I
I
would
don't
actually,
agree with Tanisha.
yeah, because
Devang, you can speak.
yeah, because when we talk about giving the key economic role to the private sector, it basically means that we are basically giving the role to someone who is basically running before the profits. See, I would tell you, there are many companies that fired many workers in this lockdown. And if I believe that there would be more public sector enterprises, then this unemployment rate would have been decreased, because even if government enterprises they are running into losses, there is a very less chances that they will fire workers, because firing workers is not something that public sector enterprises take into consideration. But it's important for private sector enterprises to take into consideration their overall profit, and when they are seeing that they are running into losses, they generally kick the workers out. And so basically I believe that private sector enterprises privatization should be minimized to a great level, and public sector should be empowered.
But don't you think that
Yeah, I agree with Devansh.
this will create a huge burden on the government?
Yeah, I mean, what is the use when private sector enterprises they can run better, they can run the firms better than the public sector enterprises, and they are getting the opportunities now. Why not?
Just
So
because of
basically when we talk,
Just
yeah.
just looking at this option of employment and unemployment, which they will also provide when the economy is on the rise. Then
No, basically, what I'm trying to say is that when we say that private sector is more efficient than the government sector, it means that हमें अपनी ही government पे भरोसा नहीं है. And when we say
no,
that we are,
this is not what I meant. This is not what I meant. There are many discrepancies. There are many loopholes in the public sector as well. And the private sectors, they yes focus on profit maximization, but it in turn benefits the country only.
see, there's a very common
Well,
saying that when your nails they grow, cut the nails, not the finger. Okay. So what I believe that if government sector government enterprises are not functioning well, the need is not to give the whole government enterprise to the private sector. No, it's like make them more efficient rather than simply stepping back and saying that we are not efficient, we cannot manage it, and see, take this, Amani ji, you can take this and take it forward. That's not something it's good for the economy, because if the government does not believe in itself, government is basically, what is government? Government, we as citizens of a country, we are giving our individual powers in an to an organization, and we are basically feeling that that organization will lead us. So if that organization does not has confidence in itself, that is very harmful and very pessimistic approach towards the whole society in general, I believe.
See, what I think is that you are riding on emotions, and also you are referring to private companies as people who are coming from foreign countries who are coming to run our country. It's not like that. There has been a lot of privatization, and those companies which are at the topmost level are running them better than the public companies used to do. So privatization is the need of the hour right now. The
Just
government
like
wants revenue. How will you
well, I
generate
don't
revenue?
agree with your point.
I would
First
like
of
to
all, the
bring
privatization will lead to capitalism, एंड जो कोरोना चल रहा है इसमें एक्सपेंडिचर इंक्रीज करने की जरूरत है, बट अगर प्राइवेटाइजेशन करनी शुरू कर दी तो कंज्यूमर एक्सपेंडिचर ज़्यादा नहीं बढ़ पाएगा, जो इकोनॉमी के लिए सही नहीं है.
Public enterprises, the employees are not working up to their full potential just because they have the job security kind of thing. So
Yeah,
they
they have job security
guys,
and they have a
let us-
lot of incentives. They have a lot of incentives.
So
Yeah.
basically,
Yes,
there is a
sorry. Like, in budget, we cannot like just say that I feel that the discussion is going on some different route, because we cannot say that a budget of 1 year, let's just change the jobs from private to public or public to private, something like that. Because what Tanisha said, that we should deal with the matters in hand right now, because budget is for a year, right? It's not like it's for 5 years or 10 years. So the matter in hand is like there are two sectors which are the most affected, which need the most attention at the moment, which is first is the medical sector, second is the service sector or the jobs, like which make up most of what Indian people are doing at the moment. For medical sector, I feel that there is only, I'm not sure about the figures, but I feel that the government provides that free part for only like I guess 40,000. So I feel with COVID and other stuff which is coming up, there's another mutation of a virus or whatever that is. So they should increase the price as of now. For the service sector, that I think there was some talk about the taxation slab, which should be increased from 1.5 to 3, and someone opposed to it. So I feel like right now, what Devang said, that a lot of jobs were lost because of the COVID-19 pandemic or whatever. So I think that slab should be increased. So that also, along with whatever points you gave about job generation, along with that, the people who already have that job do not lose it, or do not get pay cuts because of the tax or whatever that is. So I think as far as this year's budget is concerned, we should more of focus on the things which are which need immediate attention, instead of like thinking like we should change the jobs from public to private, because that is not something which will happen overnight, and the discussion has been going on for a pretty long time, and it's not like the public sector is more efficient or the private sector is more efficient, and that kind of discussion has not been going on for some time. But I feel that it's not something which can be changed in just a single year's budget.
Yeah, so that's a good point. But what I am basically trying to say that if India needs to see, I'll take you back into 2 to 3 decades. What I feel that something that happens in the beginning of a decade basically paves path for the whole decade in general. Let me give you an example. The beginning of the 1990 decade, it saw the LPG policies that came into India. And later, you can check the history. The whole decade was somewhere revolved around that LPG policy, and the whole decade was somewhere affected by that. Okay. Now coming to the next decade, that is the 2001, it saw the rise of the internet. Okay. And after that, the whole decade saw companies like Twitter, Facebook, YouTube that grew. And so basically the whole decade was revolving around that internet basically issue. Okay. Now the next decade saw the rise of e-commerce, and we saw Walmart and Flipkart making big into the corporate world. Okay. So now what 2020 basically taught us, that there is a need for spending amounts on health and education sector. Okay. Because health was something that health sector was something that needs our the immediate attention basically. Okay. And when we talk about education in terms of awareness should be there. So basically what I feel that this whole decade in general should be somewhere revolved around the same. And this with this I would like to basically come to a point that there is a need to redefine poverty line, because what we are currently having as an example of poverty line is something that is not very prudent. Let me tell you that a poverty line in terms of this money basically is not something that is good for basically your economy and all. So basically poverty line should be defined in terms of necessity. Okay. So there are basically 6 basic necessities that we say: food, clothing, shelter. That is our ancient necessities that we say. And added to these are health, education, and electricity. Okay. So what I believe that throughout this decade and starting from this particular budget only, the government should make a very ethical approach towards this whole scenario, and more expenditure should be there on these necessities rather than fulfilling someone wants and all.
I would say that
So
when we define
I
poverty,
want.
there are certain hierarchy of needs that a person wants. That Maslow's hierarchy needs, the first thing that a person wants is food, water, and security. So I don't think so that adding education, health, and literacy to it will be a correct way of redefining poverty line, because then most of the people in India will be below the poverty line. So yes, reforms can be
Yeah,
made, but
so
defining the poverty line, no, I don't think so.
yeah,
Yes,
so
I
I
Because
think
we are
definitely
coming to the topmost of the
it,
pyramid. You're not starting from
as
the bottom.
as in the case that
yeah,
in now currently India is only spending 3.6% of the entire GDP. So what the requirement is to start spending 4.6%, that is a developing country spend. So I completely agree with the statement what the Devang has said, that instead of coming up with the new and revolutionized industries, we should start focusing on the necessity, which is education sector, health sector. So yes, government budget should start focusing on more onto the health sector and the education sector. And also
Uh,
adding to the point, the privatization should be minimized. I do agree with that, because pre-COVID, there was no difference between the government jobs and the private jobs. But after COVID, we got to realize that if you are in a private job, there is a large difference between working in a private sector and working in the government sector. So privatization should be minimized, and the government should not privatize the sectors.
okay, Disha, so I just want to have a point of view that uh, this is a famous quote by a famous economist. So it's your duty to find the economist. So I just say his quote: "The government business is not to do the business." So the basic premise of this quote is that the government business is not in the era of business. It should not be in any role to do any business. So points to be here. I noted that it's my viewpoint that the government should go with the disinvestment strategies that the government is right now having, because at the end the government need to garner the funds from anywhere. Rather it uh, taking the funds from international market at high interest rate, the government is diluting its assets. So the all the PSCs or CPSCs that the government is right now owning are the non-core assets of a business of the government. And the government's main aim is to work for the people and to uplift the welfare of the people rather than doing the business. The government should not act as a competitor in the in any of the market. It just need to have a strategies on policies that is good for the or the betterment for the people. So quoting here, I just want to say that the government is having strategies to let's say BPCL, AI India, many companies right now the government is disinvesting because this is a non-core asset of any enterprise. This will learn. So hope I guess some of these students are from BCom honors. So there is a chapter in second semester where you will learn that an enterprise, in order to increase its let's say ROCE, that is return on capital employed, the any enterprise need to divert its funds from non-core assets to core assets. So the all the PSCs or CPSCs the government is right now owning are its non-core assets, and the government need to divert its funds to the core assets. The core assets being the, I say, railways, roadways, that is a basic necessity of an individual, or say water, electricity. Okay, guys, anyone want to say something else? Because I think the time has been
Yeah,
gone.
yeah,
I
I
would
would
like
like.
Just
Just a last point that
Yeah,
Okay, I just want to say that anyone who speak just conclude what they want to end their
entire forum with.
Okay, so once I was researching the shares of Reliance, and then I compared it to other public companies in the market like BPCL and IOCL. So what I found was the dividends that they give to the shareholders and the returns that they are getting are much lesser than Reliance, given that Reliance is a big company, yes. But the fact that want to point out here is that private companies, yes, they perform better than public companies and they provide better opportunities. So privatization is a good step.
Same point. I agree with Tanisha, that a piece of fact that the assets of BPCL and the assets of Reliance are not same. We say that assets of BPCL are more than the assets of Reliance, but at the same time, when we have the market cap or when we have the share price of BPCL, that is very much less than of the say share of Reliance, because both the companies are in the sector of petrochemicals. Or let's say we have a book value per share, that is this is the basic concept of accountancy, that is assets minus liabilities. So we get the net capital employed and net capital, let's say, um, divided by number of shares, we get the book value per share, which means the what a book value per share. So the book value per share of BPCL is very much higher than its current market price, and at the same time, when we say that book value per share of Reliance Industries is very much less than its market price. So what the basic premise is that the government institutions have so much let's say capacity to work harder, but I think they are not given that engine to uplift their growth and sales.
Sorry to basically rebut you, but I would again stand with my idea. Sorry, Via, if that goes wrong.
नो देवांग, नो इश्यूज। मैं कोई भैया भैया कोई नहीं हूँ, मैं भी एक बंदा हूँ जो यहाँ पे पार्टिसिपेट कर रहा हूँ और अपने व्यूज दे रहा हूँ। मैं हर बच्चे को कॉन्टेक्ट कर रहा हूँ, हर बच्चों को सपोर्ट कर रहा हूँ। उसी समय मुझे भी तुम लोग सपोर्ट करो, मेरे पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू को कॉन्टेक्ट करो, नो इश्यूज।
Okay, so I would like to contradict both of your points, because see, what I believe that when we talk about the government sector enterprise, okay, so why we are talking about BPCL and all? Why don't we talk about LIC? Why don't we talk about the railways? Okay, because see, LIC, mano ya na mano, it's the biggest company in India till date. It's bigger than Reliance. It's bigger than Tata. It has the maximum capitalization in India. It's a different matter that I don't show it. It's a different matter but it's basically LIC is one of the biggest companies in India, and it is a very well-run company. Okay, and it's the government is basically running that company. When we talk about railways, Subhash Chandra Bose said that give everything to the private sector, focus on railways, and it will basically earn you more than anything else. Okay, but when we talk about railways, they are giving it to the private sector. You can see Adani's, you can see many of the railway stations are given to Adani and all that stuff. So basically what I believe that why we are going towards examples like BPCN and all that are running into losses, why don't we take motivation from LIC and certain sector that are actually doing very well in the government sector.
LIC is also about to be listed in the stock market.
No, so that's okay. But when you talk about privatization, okay, so you are slowly giving all the government enterprises to the private sector. That is something showing that government is not efficient and उसको अपने ऊपर ही भरोसा नहीं है. But what I believe कि LIC जो इतने सालों से इंश्योरेंस प्रोवाइड करते आ रही है, इतनी बड़ी कंपनी एक दिन में तो नहीं बनी. So take motivation from there. So take basically motivation from there, and if the definition you gave that the government's business is not to do business, that definition I think was given a long time back, and with time it should be changed. And there is something मतलब उसको चेंज करने की जरूरत है, बिकॉज अगर गवर्नमेंट एक कॉम्पिटिटर है मार्केट में, इट इज बेसिकली एस्टैब्लिशिंग सम रियल स्टैंडर्ड्स ऑफ वर्क एथिक्स तो प्राइवेट सेक्टर भी अगर उससे कॉम्पीट करे, देर इज नो हार्म इन इट. एंड अगर उसका गवर्नमेंट का बेसिकली इंटेंशन इज टू प्रोवाइड सोशल वेलफेयर, जॉब सिक्योरिटी, earning revenue for the government, I think the government should full-fledgedly enter into the business line, or there's no harm in it.
I would still want to contradict you that in the budget they don't provide motivation, and also that the government's the job is to provide welfare to its citizens. I mean, if the private sector is earning revenues for them, then what's the harm? They don't have an ego to prove, na?
See, private sectors is not basically providing your core solution to the government. It's basically working for itself. और उसमें जो छोटा सा साइड में कॉलम होता है ना, that is corporate social responsibility. That is something just a formality. And I believe कि still मैं तो मतलब अपने पॉइंट के साथ ही जाऊंगा कि I don't think so गवर्नमेंट को government
When
should.
coronavirus started, Ratan Tata donated the most. It is a private sector enterprise.
See, Ratan Tata is a different personality. He just
He
owned
comes,
2%.
he comes
No, no,
under the private sector.
So
It
if you're
wasn't the
talking about
government.
no, no, no.
I think हम
If you're
एक
talking
को
about,
लेके जजमेंट नहीं कर सकते कुछ भी.
see,
एक
if you're
बंदे को
talking about
लेके
private
जजमेंट.
sector, let me tell you an example.
He
What
just
is
said
happening?
5 minutes ago that we can't say, take the case of BPCL or all. He judged the entire public sector on the case of BPCL. And
Due to the
And
these
Reliance पे चल रहा है ये.
like they make it compulsory for the people to take insurance just because of this LIC to this level. Else it was also a loss-making company few years back.
Devang, I
and
would
you would prefer the government to incur losses, but you won't let the private sector handle it and make profits.
No, I would say government should increase their efficiency. They should earn for itself. और जब अपना पैसा होता है तो खर्च अच्छे से होता है. That is what I'm saying.
Give us all this stuff.
um अभी ऐसे उसका पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू उठा है एलआईसी, तो मैं उसमें एक बात कहना चाहता हूँ कि आज तक हमें भी नहीं पता कि एलआईसी की वैल्यू क्या है. गवर्नमेंट को अपॉइंट करने पड़ रहे वैल्यूअर्स की आप एलआईसी की वैल्यू वो करो, क्योंकि गवर्नमेंट डजंट नो कि एलआईसी में कितनी पोटेंशियल है और एलआईसी की वैल्यू ही क्या है. और एक एक्सपर्ट्स कहते हैं कि एलआईसी की वैल्यू अगर एक वैल्यूअर करता है तो बिकॉज इट्स इन मेन एक्ट ऑफ एक्चुअल साइंसेस, सो उसकी वैल्यू 1 ट्रिलियन से ज्यादा हो सकती है, क्योंकि वो अकेले ही 1,000 बिलियन प्लस का फंड मैनेज करती है. वो इतना बड़ा एलआईसी कितना बड़ा फंड हाउस है. व्हेन वी से ब्लैकस्टोन और जो इतने इतने बड़े बड़े प्राइवेट इक्विटी फर्म्स है, दे आल्सो मैनेजेस दीज फंड. तो उसके बेसिस पे अगर हम देखते हैं तो एलआईसी का बहुत ज्यादा वैल्यू जो हमें तो गवर्नमेंट को खुद ही नहीं पता, वो उसको डिटरमाइन करना पड़ता है. वो कैलकुलेट कर रही है कि उसकी क्या वैल्यू है हमारे लिए. और व्हेन वी से एक मतलब ये मेरी स्टडी नहीं है, आई जस्ट रेड अ रिसर्च पेपर. लेट्स से द वैल्यू ऑफ LIC firm is 100 rupees and the government is getting a dividend of rupees 5. So we say that government is earning 5% on their capital employed, that is 100 rupees. So 5% interest rate is not a very high earning rate for any entity. Any entity wants to earn more than 10%. So and it's my viewpoint that when government invests these 100 rupees in, let's say in roadways, in waterways, in railways, then the government will get more return, according to me, more than 20%, because when the let's say infrastructure will improve, when the railways or roadways will improve, more of the foreign direct investment will come in India. When we as I read in the newspaper today, that Tesla is in talks with the Gujarat government to open its manufacturing unit in India. Why Gujarat? Why not any other state of India? Because this is a proven fact that that Gujarat has the best infrastructure facility, be in terms of roadways, railways, or connectivity issues. So when we divest these funds in the public sector, uh, let's say utilization. So when we use 100 rupees more in roadways, railways, more investments will come, or more people will start with new businesses. So that's my viewpoint on that LIC.
So
I
from
think
the points that you all mentioned, I want to add a point that the government should mainly focus on decreasing the unemployment rate also. So the government can also spend its money on the schemes which specifically target the rural people, so that they could get employment, like the schemes Magan if you may have heard of it. So I think these kind of schemes can also be introduced more, and the government will also want to increase the rural demand so that the you can say the balance हो जाए sir.
Okay, so now we'll be moving on to concluding the session. I would like to take two people who would like to present concluding statements. Anyone can volunteer for concluding the session. Okay, Tanisha, would you like to conclude the session?
Yes, I would. We had a very fruitful discussion today. So, in my concluding line, I would like to say that all of us, most of us, agree that the government in this budget should focus on two things: the in handling the immediate crisis, how it wants to handle by spending a lot on the medical sector, and also it should focus on the long-term growth prospects of the country. And it is what many economists have also pointed out, and some of it would include allowing foreign investments and also disinvestment policy going forward with that. Thank you.
Anyone who want to put in last words?
Yeah, I think the government should more focus on progressive budget, expenditure side focus करना चाहिए rather than supply side, जिससे इकोनॉमी सही होगी. एंड अब कोरोना टाइम में जो चल रहा है उसमें प्राइवेटाइजेशन करने की जरूरत नहीं है, ये इकोनॉमी को खराब ही करेगा. एंड या थैंक यू.
Okay, guys, thank you for the discussion. It was a very fruitful discussion. We had a very nice budget talk. Thank you for participating.
Thank you.